Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Taste of Tea, a Japanese comedy drama from 2004 that was directed by Katsuhito Ishii. The film follows the lives of the Haruno family, who live in a rural prefecture in the countryside, north of Tokyo. Nobuo is a hypnotherapist. He teaches Go, the game, to his son Hajime, and Hajime becomes an excellent Go player. But he has a rough time with girls and puberty. Yoshiko refuses to be an average housewife and works on animated film projects at home. She uses assistance from grandfather Akira, an eccentric old man who is a former animator and occasional model. 8-year-old Sachiko periodically sees a silent, giant-sized double of herself, which mimics or benignly watches her, and she contemplates ways to rid herself of it. And then we have Uncle Ayano, who is a sound engineer and record producer who comes to stay for a visit. He engages in inward reflection, seeks closure regarding an old relationship, and recounts a childhood experience, a tale that influences Sachiko and ties into later events. This is another one of those odd, quirky tales from Japan. You may wonder how this compares to Katsuhito Ishii's other movies, many of which are certainly quirky. I think it's definitely more comparable to something like Funky Forest, or even something like The Warped Forest, which was directed by Shunichiro Miki. The Taste of Tea relies more on character interaction, and it's not as dialogue heavy as something like Sharkskin Man and Peach Hip Girl or Party 7. So if you're familiar with any of those movies, all of which I've reviewed on this channel, by the way, then I could probably stop the review right now and you'll know what you're getting into. You know, look for like more of a Funky Forest, Warped Forest experience. Although, perhaps not as crazy as those. This one's a little bit more laid back. If you're not familiar with these films, I would tell you to expect a charmingly weird and whimsical experience about a family who lives in the countryside, and each of the family members have their own little personal obstacles to overcome, which results in some character arcs, actually, which is a nice thing. You'll certainly get a feel for this movie during the opening act. I mean, the opening 15 minutes of this film is exactly like the rest of the film. It doesn't throw you off or anything, or give you the wrong impression. It starts off with a kid running in a rural farmland. The scene ends with a very bizarre visual, and Tadanobu Asano shows up, and he plays a supporting role. And he tells an absolutely hilarious story about an egg that he found in the forest when he was a little kid. It's one of my favorite subplots of the movie, and it's probably, well, I'd say it is the funniest subplot of the film, but there's a few funny moments. It takes some completely unexpected turns. You simply cannot predict where this film is going at times, but it's fun getting there. This is actually, as I said, surprisingly laid back. You know, when I reviewed Funky Forest and some of those other films, I mentioned that it could be grating and a bit obnoxious to some viewers. I don't see this film really giving that type of an impression on people. Yeah, it's a little quirky at times, it's a little weird at times, sure. But, I don't know, I think it has more of like a slightly more mainstream feel to it. There's a baseball practice scene. It's pretty crazy. There's a scene where like a woman coworker does something after her other coworker makes a ballsy telephone call in the office. There's plenty of like very individual moments in this that are kind of memorable, and I love the scenes with the little girl. She's trying to do like a backflip on a bar and stuff like that. Very hard to like summarize the individual moments in the film, but it's an ensemble film and it bounces around between a handful of characters. And you just gotta go with it. You know what I mean? And it's very easy to follow film, and each character will have like a little character arc that finalizes at some point. My biggest gripe with this one, take a wild guess. It's the runtime. Yeah, 2 hours and 23 minutes long. Not egregiously long. Pacing is pretty good. It is kind of deliberately paced, but there's so much humor peppered in, it makes it lively. But again, like I say, almost every film nowadays, they could have trimmed it down a little bit. One interesting observation I made, however, is that The Taste of Tea is probably Katsuhito Ishii's most critically acclaimed and beloved film. So it is worth taking a shot on this. Take a chance with it if you want like a Japanese film from the 21st century, that's it's quite a nice viewing experience. I recommend this. I think it's available on Blu-ray and DVD from Third Window Films. It has also been uploaded onto YouTube as well if you want to give it a shot for free. But yeah, this one, a lot of people seem to like this one, as do I. The only warnings I would give, like I say, is the runtime, and it is a little quirky in spots. But let me know what you think of this one. And as always, I'll see you next time.